The story jumps back 30 years to Sarajevo, where Damocles is born into a world full of fear and silence. At the center of it all is Oz. No one really knows what he looks like. Anyone who does ends up dead. Oz has built his power on secrets and total control. Now it's present-day Paris, a year after everything fell apart. The underworld, Damocles owns it. Lena and Selma survived, but freedom isn't in the cards. Selma's Parkinson's keeps getting worse, and Damocles controls her medicine, making sure she can't break away. Lena follows orders because she has no other way out. Her latest job is simple: kidnap a bookmaker named Franco. She pulls it off, quietly and efficiently, and delivers him to Damocles' headquarters. Anton Varda runs things there now. But even as she works for Damocles, Lena's got her own secret plan. She slips away to meet her ex Eli, who's with the police. She makes a deal: she'll be his informant if he helps her and the people she cares about escape. Eli says yes, though he's already in trouble himself, with an investigation into his old reports about Ketno creeping closer. Before Damocles' men get to Franco, he lets something important slip. His sister Blanche might have seen Oz's face. Now she's in danger. Lena chases down the lead, sneaking back to visit her mother, but Damocles is already on her trail. Meanwhile, Selma has to prove she's loyal by executing 3 former allies. She goes through with it, but afterwards she quietly meets with Capon, a man with ties to the Carney, and together they start planning to fight back against Damocles. Back at headquarters, Varda's beating answers out of Franco, desperate to find out where Blanche is hiding. Time's almost up, but Lena, Selma, Nico, and Simon reach the hotel first. They force their way into Blanche's room and realize they've had it wrong all along. Blanche isn't the target. She's been protecting a young boy, Leon. He's the only one who can identify Oz. Then Damocles storms in and everything goes sideways. Bullets rip through the halls. Blanche gets caught in the crossfire and goes down. The group barely keeps it together as Leon leads them toward a back exit, the enemy close behind. With nowhere else to run, they light up the vents with gasoline and torch the entire floor. Flames rip through the building, blasting open a way out. Meanwhile, Selma runs straight into the Carney, an old enemy. Their meeting is icy. Too much baggage, zero trust, but they both get it. Damocles is running everything and something's gotta give. They hatch a plan. Selma can't stay under Damocles' thumb. She decides to vanish, slipping away with the Carney as her backup. It's risky, but now she can make her own moves, free from Damocles' grip. Even while hiding, Selma refuses to sit still. She pools her resources, aiming for a Damocles weapons shipment. It's bold, a direct shot meant to chip away at Damocles, control and prove they're not untouchable. Back in Damocles' territory, things take another turn for Lena. Also, one of their top enforcers steps in. He doesn't rush anything, just watches her, prods her, waiting to see if she'll crack. This isn't just talk, it's a test. Lena doesn't let up. She stays composed, answers every question without showing weakness. Every moment counts because also searching for the tiniest sign she's not who she claims to be. If he catches her slipping, it's all over. At Lena's mom's place, Lena lays out her plan. She wants to team up with Selma and the Furies and go straight after Damocles. Selma doesn't waste time and drops the bomb. Oz is coming to Paris himself to deal with her and the Carney gang. They all kick into gear. Lena helps Nico deal with an unauthorized dealer. While Varda is being tortured, Lena manages to sneak a tracker into his phone. Meanwhile, Selma plants a bug on Varda's phone. Now they can listen in on his calls. Eli's feeling the heat. Iris gets in his face, digging for answers, then also corners him, demanding to know where Leon is. Eli lies and says Leon's under police protection. It keeps Leon out of sight, but puts Eli in a much tighter spot. Later, Lena spends some time with Leon. He finally opens up, sharing how his mother was murdered and talks about the Tuesday man. Suddenly, everything feels more personal, especially for Leon. Selma and Rosie try to score weapons, but someone betrays them. The arms deal goes sideways, bullets fly, and all trust inside the Carney gang is gone. Lena follows Varda to the Grand Palais Immersive, but things go sideways when she finds Leon stowed away in her car. He's dead set on finding his mother's killer, and now he's right in the middle of it all. While that's going down, Nico and Simon tail Varda's crew to an airfield, hoping to finally get Oz. Instead, it's a setup. Damocles, soldiers come out of nowhere. Oz is a no-show, and Nico and Simon barely make it out alive. Back at the Grand Palais, the authorities order an evacuation. Through the chaos, Oz disappears into the crowd. Lena spots a narrow window and has to make a call. She turns on the resistance, gives away their hideout to Varda in exchange for a face-to-face with Oz. Now Damocles has the hideout surrounded, trapping Selma and forcing her to fight just to survive. Lena asks Varda to set up a meeting with Oz. Instead, she gets dragged down to a basement and ends up face-to-face with a man claiming to be Oz. It's all fake. The real Oz watches her through a two-way mirror, studying her, actually a little impressed by how far she's made it. Instead of just ending things, he offers her a job: find the mole leaking info to the cops. Her reward: total access to the whole headquarters. Meanwhile, Selma's holed up with Nico, Simon, and the Carney. Nobody really wants to go up against Damocles, but Selma's not listening. She wants Oz dead, period. Also catches up to Leon at Amity's house and tries to haul him in, but Lena stops them. She tries not to make a scene, but also fights back. Lena ends up taking Leon, and when she gets a chance to kill Orso, she just lets him live. Over at the station, Eli finds a bug hidden on his boss's computer. He confronts Denon about it, and the secret stash of money in Denon's locker. Denon panics and tries to bolt, but Tor shoots him. He thinks it's just a warning shot, but Denon dies anyway. Back at headquarters, Lena bumps into Oz in the hallway. He acts like everything's normal, almost pulls it off, but Leon blows his cover. Lena moves fast. With Leon's help, she takes Oz down and makes him her hostage. At the same time, Selma, Nico, and Rosie bring Beara's son to an old military fort, expecting a deal. Instead, they find hundreds of kids locked up in cells. Nico wants to help, but Selma keeps her eyes on the real prize: Oz and Lena. Lena throws Oz in a car and races toward a police station, trying to turn him in. Selma, Simon, and Damocles' crew are hot on her trail. Lena calls Selma, tries to get her on board, but Selma refuses. She won't let Oz go. At the station, Iris sees a message from Lena on Eli's phone. Everything comes out. Iris is the mole working for Damocles. She leaves and calls Varda. Lena's driving flat out, Oz beside her, Damocles waiting up ahead. A roadblock looms, armed men ready to stop her, but she doesn't let up. She slams through, crushing the barricade and knocking them out of the way, but she gets hit in the process. Blood's everywhere. She's running out of time. She calls Nico, desperate for help, and he sends her to a hidden doctor buried deep beneath a theater. While Lena vanishes into the city, Selma starts tracking. She's calm, zeroed in, already 2 steps ahead as she searches Amity's apartment. Her team spreads out across Paris, covering every escape she can think of. Selma knows Lena's habits, her moves, and she plans around them. Back at the police station, Eli stumbles on Lena's message and tries to reach her. Nothing. No reply, no trace. With nowhere else to turn, he asks Iris for help, trusting her without knowing who she really is. At the underground clinic, the doctor patches Lena up, but a new problem pops up. Oz has been tagged with a tracker. This changes everything. Lena yanks it off, leaves it as bait, and tricks Varda's men into following the decoy. Then she moves Oz again, settling into an abandoned building to wait for Eli. As they wait, Oz starts talking quietly, carefully. He tells Lena that Selma killed her birth mother years ago, hunting her down. He slips the story into her head, trying to shake her, trying to turn her against the only ally she's got. Eli gets to the building first, but he's not alone for long. Selma shows up, her fighters right behind, with Damocles' forces closing in. Everything erupts, a shootout tears the place apart. Somehow in the chaos, Lena finds a way to escape with Oz. Meanwhile, Nico and Simon are on their own mission. They push through Damocles' defenses, working together to free the kids locked away. It all comes down to the police station. Lena makes it there and hands Oz off to Iris. Oz gets arrested. For a split second, it feels like the nightmare is finally over, but no. Iris takes Oz to the roof, and that's where everything flips. She isn't just a mole. She's one of Oz's victims, a child he kidnapped years ago in Sarajevo. Now she's after her freedom. Selma arrives, and there's no hesitation. She kills Oz on the spot. With Oz out of the picture, Selma doesn't waste any time. Her crew storms Damocles' headquarters, takes it back by force, and grabs control of the underworld. Meanwhile, Lena heads off with Eli to find Nico, Leon, and Amity's. For a brief moment, it almost feels like things will calm down, but then Simon staggers in, barely on his feet, bleeding everywhere. He fights to get the words out. Selma never planned to free the kids. She was going to use them. He tried to stop her, and she shot him. In the Olympus conference room, with Selma taking control in the clearest way possible, she kicks over the chairs of the other crime lords and makes her position known. She does not want balance or negotiation. She wants to rule Paris alone. This was always the plan. She never intended to just destroy Damocles. She intended to replace it. The truth behind her moves starts to unfold. She set up the Carney from the beginning. She staged attacks on his businesses and made it look like Damocles was responsible. She used his own daughter as a spy and then removed him when he was no longer useful. She did the same with Simon. She used his loyalty to help take children hostage, and when he refused to accept it, she shot him without hesitation. She also worked from the inside, bringing Iris and Varda onto her side with promises of freedom and power, breaking both the police and Damocles from within. Everything starts to collapse at once. Lena stands against Selma and refuses to join her. The fight between them is direct and personal. Selma overpowers her and takes her down. Lena is captured, falling into the same position her father once did. At the same time, Eli faces his own downfall. He confronts Iris after realizing the truth, but she moves first. She frames him to protect herself, turning him into a fugitive. With no support left, he is forced to run and align with Lena's people. Simon is still alive after being shot. He is taken to a hospital against his will to keep him alive, even as everything around him falls apart. Selma moves Lena out of the city under heavy guard, keeping control of the situation, but the convoy does not make it far. It is hit hard and fast. The attack is violent and precise, tearing through the escort and stopping the transfer. Lena pulls herself out of the wreckage, disoriented and injured, trying to understand what just happened. Then she sees who pulled her out, Orso. The shock does not end there. Orso tells her the truth. He was sent by someone else, someone unexpected, someone she thought was gone. Her mother, Kahina, is alive. With everything shifting again, Selma now controls the underworld. Lena is free but pulled into something bigger, and a new player has entered the fight, setting up a direct clash that is coming next.